Oh, hello there. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening, joining us live on the Reality After Show or joining us after the fact on the archived episode. This is
Bobby's an idiot.
Bobby's an idiot. Clicked the wrong button.
And he played the wrong intro, but it's okay. We are here not talking Survivor today. Maybe you got a Survivor pool for the NFL that you're interested in hearing what we have to say for the upcoming NFL week. But no, this is the NFL weekly preview show here on the Reality After Show. My name's Gabe Ortis, joined by Jonny Fairplay and, of course, producer extraordinaire Bobby Goodsby. Fellas,
I don't know about
I don't know about extraordinaire anymore. Click the damn wrong button.
Producer, he's a little extra.
So every single week we get together, we look at the upcoming week of the NFL slate. We look at all the lines. We give you whatever we think the bet of the week is for each game that we go through. And we do a little bit of looking back as well at the week before. We're going into week 15. December football is good and here right now. We are officially in I don't know. Is this the last month of the NFL season? Because we play 1 week of regular season football in January. So for me, it's still December.
So I'm in 6 fantasy football leagues.
Okay.
I made the playoffs in 5 out of 6.
Okay.
And all of them start this week with the exception of one that started last week. And of course, it was I went against HQ, who you met at the game. HQ, who's averaging 60 points a week, had 150 points. Jesus. And I had 100, and I'm just like, of course the playoffs start last week in one league, and then everything. So it's fine, but for anyone that's just like Jonny Fairplay, you sit here and you run your mouth about football, on a podcast every week. Like who did you ever beat? What have you ever done? What do you know? Well, when you make the playoffs in 5 out of 6 fantasy football leagues, I think you're pretty good.
Fair enough.
So you see jersey after jersey after jersey, right?
Yeah.
I'm the king of the jerseys.
Yeah.
What am I rocking today? The official Jack White halftime.
Wow. They made merch for a halftime show that wasn't the Super Bowl.
This is from the Thanksgiving halftime show when Eminem came out. Only available at Ford Field, not available online, nothing. I'm a member of like 10 different Third Man Records Facebook groups. And someone's like, I'm here at Ford Field. There's 3 size mediums. Who wants one? And I hit them up and I got it.
Wow. That's pretty cool, actually.
I think it's awesome. And
I think it's really cool, yeah.
Like you see like the splatter, like they just pressed them, yeah. All
right, well, let's get into some of the games this week. We're coming up on week 15 of the NFL. This is the time when team seasons either get saved or get destroyed. So how is that going to end up working out? Well, we'll see here. As of the recording of this episode, Thursday night, we are about 45 minutes out from Thursday Night Football kicking off. The Falcons taking on Baker and his Bucks at Tampa Bay. This is a game that I don't think has a whole lot of implications, so we don't really need to spend any time on it. The Atlanta Falcons are not mathematically eliminated, but just about mathematically eliminated.
I think they are eliminated.
Are they? Okay, sitting at 4-9.
I know they're on the bubble. And like it would require a win out, all these losses, and an earthquake in a secondary metropolitan city.
Yeah, because Tampa's at 7-6. So they're 3 games back from Atlanta. So if Atlanta were to win out and Tampa were to lose,
they're eliminated. They're eliminated.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Falcons, the Saints, the Cardinals, Giants, Commanders, Raiders, Titans, Browns, and Jets are all eliminated.
Okay. All right. My the NFL website itself doesn't have like the markers up for who's where. I think ESPN will have it though. Yes,
ESPN does.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So if you want to look up good standings for the conference, then go over to ESPN.
Don't go to NFL.com.
Don't go to NFL.com. God forbid,
don't go to their
little
website.
E next to the name. Yes, the Falcons are eliminated. So this game doesn't mean a whole lot for either team. I mean, obviously the Bucs need to find a way to win to hold off the Carolina Panthers from taking that spot. But this is a game that you expect Tampa Bay to go in and take on a defeated Atlanta Falcons team. The spread for that right now is at 5.5 points in favor of the home team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I don't think we need to talk about this game a whole lot. Let's get in.
I'm rooting for the Falcons. I'd love to see Carolina sneak in there.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
We'll agree with that. And we'll talk about that more when we get to Carolina game this week.
So, and the Tampa Bay team that we saw at the beginning of the season is not the Tampa Bay that exists currently.
No, but they're getting healthier, which makes me think that tonight could kind of be a get right game for them. But I totally agree. It's been tough to watch this Tampa Bay team from September to now. So getting into this week's games, we have a very fun game. Might be the fun game of the weekend, to be honest. There are a couple of contenders for this, though. But it's going to be an AFC East matchup, a very important matchup for both teams, but for different reasons. The Buffalo Bills are trying to force their way into the playoffs. They're currently sitting at the 6th seed at 9-4. Dropping this game would be bad news bears for the Buffalo Bills. The New England Patriots have been in a 2-horse race for the 1 seed all season, going up against Sean Payton and his Denver Broncos. The spread for this game right now is 1.5 points in favor of, wait for it, the away team, Buffalo Bills, heading to New England. Vegas has zero respect for the Patriots.
No.
And it doesn't matter how many games they win. It doesn't matter how many they win in a row. This team is so disrespected by Vegas every single week. They are constantly listed as underdogs to teams that they have, in some cases, significantly better records than. And that has persisted through week 15. The Bills heading to New England to take on Drake May, Mike Vrabel, and the Patriots as 1.5 point favorites. Johnny, do you think Vegas has got this right, or do you ride the underdog in New England?
You ride the under, like the Buffalo, the New England game at Buffalo earlier this season was literally the coming out party for this Patriots.
Yes, it was.
So I say history repeats itself.
Wow, a sweep.
I like the Patriots money line.
Interesting, at plus 100, even money. Bobby, do you think Vegas got this wrong?
No, I think Vegas got this completely right. I think the Buffalo Bills are the better team. And before you at me, this is a schedule, and I know I don't want to always put it on the schedule. And they did beat the Bills. It was a 3-point game, but they did beat the Bills. But outside of that,
Chicago Bears it.
And then they
their win streak has included a win over the Panthers, not a bad win. Bills, good win. Saints, shit win. Titans, shit win. Browns, shit win. Falcons, shit win. Buccaneers, looks like a shit win now. Jets, shit win. Bengals, without Joe Burrow, shit win. And Giants, shit win. I'm sorry. Their schedule's the easiest in the NFL. I understand why they're put behind them. Now, granted, they're doing it, and they're looking impressive when they do it, but you can't convince me that this New England team, as young as they are and as talented they are, I still think they're a couple of years removed from being that team. I think Buffalo is still that team, even with the record. This is a huge game. This week and next week will tell us a lot about this New England team if they are for real.
And of all the teams you just named that they beat, with the exception of the Bengals, the Bills, and the Panthers, all those teams are eliminated right now with a month left to play in football from the playoffs. So it's like,
I'll put this analogy on the Patriots. A guy with a 4-inch dick that has sex with 100 girls still has sex with 100 girls. That's New England Patriots right now.
So it's actually interesting you say that, Johnny, because I saw a stat the other day, and it said that I think 13 of the last 15 Super Bowl champions, and I could get that number wrong, but a lot of recent Super Bowl champions have played 7 or more teams that finished under 500. So I do think that's part of the formula of going and winning the Super Bowl, is having a lot of easy games. Because let's be honest, it keeps you healthy.
Yeah.
By the time you get to December, a lot of the teams you're playing have given up. They're playing at 75% anyway. Those are just a bunch of guys on the opposition team that are trying not to get hurt and are just thinking about
they're looking
in their next contract. So I do think that there is something here for this New England team, that they are well rested, they are healthy, they have a lot of guys who are spreading the ball around well. Drake May is spreading the ball around well to a lot of different guys. But I agree with Bobby in that this week and next week are going to tell us a lot about this team. Yeah. Can you go beat 2 talented teams back to back? Because they haven't done that all season. And that's what you need to do in January to go win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Is you need to be able to beat a bunch of bad teams in the regular season and then go beat, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Buffalo, Kansas City, like some amalgamation of those teams back to back to back. This is a good mini test for him. Can you go beat Buffalo at home? Can you go into Baltimore, a hostile place with a good quarterback, and win there as well? If they can do that, my whole opinion of this team changes.
Same.
Can they do that? I think that they win this week against Buffalo. I agree with you, Johnny, but it's because I'm so low on Buffalo. Buffalo sucks. Buffalo sucks, and Josh Allen is not playing at an MVP level like many quarterbacks aren't this year.
Well, I mean, you got the weight of the team weighing him down. I mean, he's tired.
Like, I agree. And it's coming off an MVP season where he was which it should have been Lamar, but he was the most valuable player to his team. He was the only one making anything happen, and that trend has continued into this season. I'm not high at all on this Bills team. So I think that a healthier, more consistent, more momentum, and still playing for something New England team comes out with a win here. Sticking with the 1 p.m.s, another fun game that we have is another divisional matchup in the AFC West matchup. The Los Angeles Chargers heading to Kansas City. Kansas City playing for everything, playing for their season. They could be eliminated this week. Now they need to lose, and other things need to happen.
Last week, remember that Texas pick right here?
Yes, he did. Yeah. I think I was with you on that as well. Yeah. Maybe not. Maybe I wasn't. I don't think I was. I think
I said Texans too because my buddy's got that big bet going on.
Yeah.
How's he? Tell him don't spend that money yet.
Oh, yeah, right. This game, if they win this game, they're eliminated. If the Chargers win this game,
but do not spend that money.
I think some other things need to happen. For them to be eliminated.
They're basically eliminated.
Yes.
Yeah, but they are the Kansas City Chiefs. So if there's any way, it's just like, oh, remember when we changed the points?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we have the Chiefs at 6-7 going into this game against the Chargers, who are 9-4. I find the wild card race in the AFC fascinating right now because it's a bunch of teams that have the same record. So it's like those standings can all change just like it with, over the course of not even a day, like a time slot. Like by the end of the 1 p.m.s, the entire makeup of the AFC playoffs can be different. The Chiefs currently sitting, like I said, at 6-7. The Chargers have the 5 seed right now at 9-4, trying to hold off Buffalo, that's below them at the 6 seed. Houston, that's below them at the 7 seed. The Colts, that are below them at the 8 seed. And the Ravens, the Chiefs, obviously, who they're playing. And get this, the Dolphins are also 6-7. They've won 5 of their last 6. So who saw that coming? But this is a game that once again, Vegas going with the team in a big way that has 3 more losses than the other team. The Chargers are 3 games ahead of the Kansas City Chiefs. Vegas has the Chiefs at home as 5.5-point favorites. A lot of points for this Chiefs team that cannot figure out how to win. Bobby, I'll ask you the same question I did for the last game. Did Vegas get this wrong?
Sorry, I was dealing with Penelope. So they're 5.5-point favorites at
Chiefs
home?
are 5.5-point favorites despite being 3 games back from the Chargers.
I think it's fair because honestly, the way how beat up the offensive line is for the Chargers, I think a 5.5-point line is fair. I still think I'd favor the Chargers, but it's difficult. Honestly, I love the Chargers. I think they're a fun team to root for. I just think that they're probably going to be one and done in the playoffs because they are struggling to keep Justin Herbert upright. Like it wouldn't shock me if we get an early retirement from Justin Herbert because of how much he's getting beat up by this offensive line. Like, what was it last game? The Eagles had 8 sacks on him or something like that. Like
that's what the Eagles do.
But even then, it's still the fact that this offensive line can't stop anybody. And so
let's also not forget, not to cut you off, is that Chargers are 1-0 in this series right now. They won in Brazil week 1.
Yeah. My wallet remembers.
Yeah. I mean, Bobby, like if you were to bet on this game, where would you go?
I'm probably going to bet. I'm going to bet the Chargers. I think that the Chargers are strong enough to get a win against a very much so struggling Kansas City team, even on the road. And if they get this win, one, it takes out one of their biggest rival essentially from making playoffs. Like they want this more than anything. I think this is the game they have highlighted on their schedule throughout the season, is to beat the Chiefs at the Chiefs. So I'm going to say Chargers get the win.
Johnny?
I love the Chargers, but I think Taylor Swift's going to be there. You can't beat the power of the Swifties.
Yeah.
And I think the NFL, even if the Chargers or even if the Chiefs don't make the playoffs, I think that the NFL as a brand and as a company wants them in the discussion until they're not.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like the Chargers with points. I think that's the best bet here. 5.5 is a lot of points.
That's a lot of points.
I think that's where I go. If the Chiefs win this game on a voodoo magic last second field goal or something, which is probably what's going to happen. Yeah. I can see that, but I just don't see this being like a blowout in any capacity. Someone's going to be driving to win the game at the end. Like Chargers is going to end with the game-winning drive. Like I just, it's too many points for me to ignore.
Yeah, Chargers 5.5.
It's great.
Yeah.
So let's keep rolling here with these AFC divisional games for the 1 p.m.s. A great AFC 1 p.m. slate. We got my Baltimore Ravens heading to Cincinnati to have a rematch of Thanksgiving against Joe Burrow and his Bengals. Right now, the Ravens are sitting at 2.5-point favorites. They were 6.5-point favorites last time they met on Thanksgiving. So now the Ravens, coming off a devastating loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers, are going to have to try to avoid that same thing happening in Cincinnati this time. This is a weird game. I don't know. Bobby, how do you feel about it? 2.5 points in favor of the Ravens heading to Paycor Stadium.
Well, loser is essentially eliminated. Like, not saying completely. Well, the Bengals will be completely, but pretty much, right? Yeah. Penelope, hold on. So the thing is, I think I always love watching Baltimore and Cincinnati play. It's always a high-scoring affair every time they do play each other. First off, I want to ask you, Gabe, was that a touchdown last week?
The Isaiah Likely?
Yeah.
I mean, he had possession of the ball and he took 2 steps. So it's
I agree.
I just, if that's the rule, then that's the rule.
Oh, we've learned that's the rule.
But if you're a DB and you're in the end zone, how is your job not every single time just throw your body at the ball and hope it gets dislodged? Because if he's got to make like 3 steps is a lot of time. And Marlon Humphrey, who is a DB for the Ravens, he said exactly that. He was like, every time now I'm just going to try to punch the ball out. And as long as I can keep from getting that 3rd step, shouldn't be a touchdown, right? So I think it was a dumb call. I think it was against the spirit of the game. But if that's the rule, then like that's the rule, But I don't think that rule is good for football. I don't think it helps the viewing experience. And I think it was particularly crazy that they overturned it, that they called it a touchdown on the field. And then after like a 2-minute review, came out and overturned it. So I thought it was stupid. I don't think it's good for TV. I think it was dumb to watch a touchdown get scored and then to call it off. And everybody, the worst thing you can have for a TV product is when everybody at home is sitting there going like, "What?
Yeah,
what?
We're good. Oh, how are we not good? Because we're good."
That's the worst thing that you can have.
And then the guy in New York that they're like, "Hey, is this good?" Yeah, it's good.
And it's like, well, I don't like that. And even Steelers fans were saying like that was a touchdown. Like, I don't know what happened there. So we got totally jobbed. I don't want to put it, even though it was a horrendous day for the refs in Baltimore last week. They had the Isaiah Likely that they overturned. They had, what was the other? The Aaron Rodgers interception that was also a reversal. It felt like an obvious interception when you watch it from every angle. And then that was one that they called an interception. Then they reversed it. And then the one that they acknowledged, the league office acknowledged was a bad call, was on a field goal. Travis Jones, who just got an extension today, well earned, the interior defensive lineman for the Ravens, was going to block a field goal, got blocked into the center. They called a flag for unnecessary roughness. The center is considered a defenseless player on field goals. And the Steelers get a new set of downs on the 1-yard line. They score a touchdown. So, and they came out and admitted that was a bad call. That flag never should have been thrown. The Steelers get 4 extra points. The Ravens lose by 5 points. They were driving at the end of the game. They were on the 30-yard line. You kick a field goal, you win if that isn't called. So it was a horrendous day. But at the end of the day, like, that Steelers team is awful. They are so bad. Aaron Rodgers played his best game against Baltimore last week because we let him play his best game. And to not beat that team by a lot, like to have a situation where the refs are deciding that game is a terrible look for Baltimore. So I lost a lot of faith in this team last week. I really did.
I think that was a crucial win for you guys that you needed to have. I think that would have really cemented your place in the playoffs. And especially in the picture.
Have to go win this game against Cincinnati next week, right? And then we have New England at home after that. Have to go win that, and then you had to Lambeau, and they flexed the New England game to primetime Sunday Night Football. They flexed the Green Bay game to Saturday Night Football, back-to-back prime. Like Baltimore is either going to ascend to the moment on primetime in front of the entire country over the next 3 weeks, or we're going to embarrass ourselves in front of the whole country. Like it's a total do or die situation over the next 3 weeks, and it's going to be happening on primetime television. But looking at this game, the Cincinnati game, the team is healthy going into this week. Lamar he took off Wednesday. He's been taking off every Wednesday for the last 5 weeks, but he didn't have an injury designation this time for the first time. It was just non-injury related rest. That has to be encouraging. Everybody else was back on the field. I think they had nearly perfect attendance. So it's just going to be, can you go into Cincinnati, a place where you historically have played very well and have scored a lot of points at? Can you score those points? We played the Cincinnati Bengals on Thanksgiving. They scored a bunch of points. We turned the ball over 5 times. You can protect the ball. You should be able to go beat the Cincinnati Bengals team. If you can protect the ball and score 24 points, you'll win. But if you don't do that, you're going to lose. So, I mean, it's a really tough game to call. And I'm flattered that that Vegas has listed us as 2.5-point favorites. I think I would probably have Cincinnati favored in this game. They look better with Burrow. I don't know. It's hard for me to have any faith in this Baltimore team. They keep losing in big spots. They haven't won a single big game all season. The only big game they won was coming out of the bye week against the Bears with Snoop Huntley. So it's like, every single big game that they've had, Bills, Lions, primetime, Chiefs, 4 p.m. game, the Thanksgiving game against Cincinnati, the Steelers game they lose all the big games. And this is a huge game. So I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm confident they'll win. I hope they win. And if I was you, I would take Cincinnati plus 2.5. That's the bet I would make.
Yeah, that's what I'm taking. And I'm taking Cincinnati plus 2.5. However, there are rumblings. I don't know if you guys heard it today of Joe Burrow apparently not too happy in Cincinnati.
He had a bit of a crash out at his press conference. Yeah. Which I found to be very interesting.
Yes.
I believe this is all make-believe and fake and fixed, just like professional wrestling. I think the better story is Baltimore winning. I think the fact that the last 2 Baltimore games the next 2 being flexed is part of the storyline.
They want to set them up. That's a good point. I
think Baltimore wins.
Looking at, that's kind of all the games in the 1 p.m.s that I think have interest. Raiders versus Eagles, who cares? Cardinals versus Texans, who cares? Commanders versus Giants, vomit game. Jets versus Jags, vomit game. Browns versus Bears, who cares? Let's get into some of these 4 p.m.s here, because we have 2 very interesting games in the 4 p.m.s and 3 very good games in the 4 p.m.s, 2 kind of nasty ones. 5 4 p.m. games feels like a lot, does it not?
Yeah.
It's usually 4, right?
Usually you can do the 4 screen.
Oh, the one, yeah.
Be able to do the 4 screen, and
so the first game listed for the 4 p.m.s is going to be the Indianapolis Colts
with
the best storyline
with
the
Phillip
NFL.
Rivers.
Oh, dadgummit, Phillip Rivers making his grand return after a 5-year hiatus to the NFL. Going to be playing for his former team, the Indianapolis Colts, heading to Seattle to take on Mike McDonald and that defense led by Sam Darnold on offense as well. I mean, 13.5 points in favor of the Seattle Seahawks at home. Johnny, the story is Phillip Rivers finds a win. Is it even possible?
I was a Phillip Rivers San Diego Chargers fan. I loved Phillip Rivers NC State. I'm a Hokie. Go ACC all the way. We don't have back in the day, we didn't have a lot to brag about. So we had that. Fat Phillip Rivers, I think, is fun. You cannot smack the smile off his face. I think 8 sacks might, but I think the first
We'll
7,
see.
he's still smiling. We'll see. I love it. I think, and I'm a Seattle guy. I like Seattle. I think Seattle is a bit like they could be the team. They have shown a lot more than most of the NFL this season. I'm a story guy. I love the story. I love Phillip Rivers doing something special, and then I think next week it falls apart. So bad. And I don't like that part of the story, but I think that's the next chapter. But I think we get a very fun Sunday for Phillip Rivers.
I really hope so, Bobby.
Well, here's the thing:
we don't even take the points all day long.
Yeah,
we don't even know if Phillip Rivers is going to play in this game.
Right? No, he is.
It's still saying it's an option.
Yes.
No, I think he's been all but confirmed as the starter.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
So let's say he is.
Yes.
Okay. I know that there's been talks that he's been, talking to his coach, during the season while he's been coaching his own son's team in high school football and going over the playbook and running a lot of the same schemes and played in this offense, what have you. I think 5 years removed, granddad Phillip Rivers goes onto the field and the first hit he takes by that dominant Seattle defense, we're on to the next quarterback. I think he's going to absolutely get demolished.
And if he gives everybody a wave, I'm okay with that too. I just love the story. I'm a story guy. This is a story. If Phillip Rivers can Uncle Rico it for one game, I think that's a fun deal.
What
I also think?
Go ahead, Gabe.
I think it's worth acknowledging too that he was going to be eligible. Not that I think he was going to make it. He was going to be eligible for the Hall of Fame next year.
Yeah.
And now that he comes back, that clock resets.
Yeah.
So he has another 5 years he has to wait. And I think he's kind of like a bubble guy. I don't think he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't even think he'd make it on his second go. But the fact that that would be the greatest achievement in Phillip Rivers' life, right? Would be making the Hall of Fame. In his football career,
his checkbook is his greatest achievement.
Well, also true. But in terms of accolades, right? And to be like, I'm going to push that down the line 5 more years after getting to the end of my 5-year wait for 1 month, maybe, of slinging the ball again. The dude loves ball, dude.
Yeah.
He loves playing ball. And I got to respect that.
If you've been watching him in the practice, literally, I have never seen a guy smile more in practice ever in the history of fucking football.
In practice.
And if he goes on to win a Super Bowl, then it escalates his chances of getting into the Hall of Fame. So if
he wins the Super Bowl, he's first ballot. So maybe it's worth it,
Yeah, here's the other thing too, though. Who's had the biggest fall from grace this season outside the Minnesota Vikings? Of the Indianapolis Colts, of where you started, to where you are. Yeah, that's true. To where you are now.
It's terrible.
Honestly, if you would have told me a month ago, if I would have placed a $500 bet down on them not making the playoffs, I've been like, you're crazy. Now it looks like the greatest investment of all time.
Yeah.
I don't think they're making playoffs.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, right now they're sitting at 8-5. They're out of the playoffs right now. The playoffs started tomorrow.
And didn't they trade away all those first round picks for that?
Yeah. To go get Sauce Gardner, and Sauce Gardner's hurt. So it's like, I mean, they are a team that just they were September and October Warriors, man. Yeah. And every year there's a couple of teams that are like that. Yeah. And everybody else being bad kind of lifted them up through those early months of the season. But yeah, I mean, I if they lose this game, which they probably will, they're definitely not going to make the playoffs. They'll be sitting at 8-6. If you think Houston's going to win against who do they play this week? Houston plays bye week for Houston, I think.
No.
They play the Cardinals, so you assume that they're going to win that. Then they're moving up to 8-6 too. I mean, I just don't see it. And Houston has the tiebreaker against the Colts. This is a must-win game for the Colts.
And you got Jacksonville at home against the Jets.
Yeah, right. So it's like they're falling out if they lose this game, which they probably will. One of the other 4 p.m. games that is very interesting: Green Bay Packers heading to Mile High Stadium to take on the Denver Broncos. The Packers listed as 2.5-point favorites. Johnny, how do you feel about this one?
Money line, Broncos win.
Broncos money line. Interesting.
Yeah.
Broncos are, to me, the Chicago Bears of the AFC.
Ooh,
I think they are frauds.
Wow.
Frauds. This defensively, pretty good team.
Yeah.
Offensively, I do not think the numbers support what they have been able to do in their win column.
No, I agree. They don't score points.
They don't score points. They're always disgusting games where they win by a last-second field goal or in overtime or a weird play that happens by their defense that happens to win them the game. They are not the team that should be, 11-2 that they are right now. Yeah. I don't think they're the top team in football. I don't think anyone would put them as the top team in football. I think that they're good enough to win like a game in the playoffs. I don't see them getting even near the AFC Championship.
I think they're a 2-win playoff team.
I think they're 1 win.
I think they're the same team they were last year.
I think the advantage they're going to have is that the playoffs is going to run through Mile High, and that's a very tough place to go play.
Maybe
it is a big advantage. You know,
Patriots are going to make a claim for that too.
Yeah, but they'll only see the Patriots in the AFC Championship game.
That's true.
So they're guaranteed at least 2 games at home if they finish in that second seed, which they will. So like that, my big thing is they just don't score points. You know, if you go up against a Bills team that can score a lot of points, a Texans team that can't really score a lot of points, but they're also tough to score against, a Chargers team that can put up points, a Baltimore team that can't put up any points, but did early in the season, like they're going to have a lot of tough outs in the AFC. Yeah. So I could see them winning a wild card game, maybe against I don't know. Houston's going to be a tough out, and they're the 7 seed right now.
Yeah.
It's like that. I don't know. They're a very weird team. They're hard to predict.
Are we all rooting for you? Do we like this Houston story?
Yes.
I don't.
You don't?
The only reason I don't is because Stroud isn't playing good. And I don't like seeing teams with bad quarterbacks win.
Yeah, I get that part of it, but it's just like Denver. Like they're getting it done, and like, do you like offensive machines? Yes, we all do. However, do we like at the end of the game? There's a minute left. You're watching that last minute.
Sure, yeah. And it is fun. The comeback they've had is fun. Don't get me wrong. But like the headline of that team is the defense is playing out of their mind. Yeah, you know,
both teams, both Houston and Denver.
Yeah,
they're the same
which is what would maybe make it a cool matchup in the wild card if Denver falls to that 2 seed and Houston stays at the 7 seed. That could be a fun matchup. Yeah. But because it's just going to be a battle of the defenses. But I need some star power. There's no star power in either of these teams.
Stands for not for long if you're not a star, brother.
There you go. WWE is the same way. All right, the last game of the 4 p.m.s that I find interesting, worth talking about. Detroit heading to SoFi to take on the Rams. Big NFC matchup as the Detroit Lions are trying to find their way into a very crowded wild card group here in the NFC. They're currently a game back from the Bears as the 7 seed and a game back from the Niners as the 6 seed. That 5 seed spot is held by Seattle at 10-3. Nobody's catching them, you have to imagine. But the Detroit Lions heading to what many people are saying is the best team in football, the Los Angeles Rams. The spread right now is 6 points in favor of the home team, the Rams. I'm going to be honest. I don't know about this one. Detroit has scored more points than any team in the league this year.
Yep. I like Detroit in the points all day long.
I think I do.
Yeah. I think the Rams probably win, not guaranteed, but those points and Detroit, there's some free money there.
And I mean, the Rams are coming off a complete slobber knocking of the terrible Arizona Cardinals, 45-17. But then the game before that, they lose to the Carolina Panthers, 28-31.
Yeah.
So I think if you can score 30 points against this Rams team, which the Lions absolutely can,
no problem.
Have a good shot of winning. Bobby, is 6 points too much?
I think that it's a little much. I'd rather have this near 3.5. Yeah. I would like to say that I think the Rams are the best team in football. I still do, even after that bad Carolina loss. Even though Carolina's not a bad team, it was just a bad look on defense, especially. But it is West Coast to East Coast, so I will give them that. I do want to say that I think this Rams team can get this done. This is a must win for Detroit. Their schedule doesn't get any easier. They play the Steelers, they play the Vikings, who they already lost to once in the season. I'm not saying the Vikings are the greatest team in the world, even though I'm a Vikings fan, but they already lost, and the Vikings are at home. And then they play the Bears, who I think they could beat the Bears and the Vikings, but who knows? Honestly, who knows? And yes, they're a high-scoring offense, but their defense is atrocious. Their defense is so bad, allowing so many teams to stay in it, even in high-scoring games. I think the Rams' offense is so explosive that I think that they can get it done. And defensively, I think as long as they can keep the Lions, around 21 points or under, I think the Rams will take it.
Yeah, it's going to be probably the game of the weekend. I think it's going to be that, Chargers, Chiefs, or Bills, Patriots. I think those are the three games that have potential.
I mean, that's football for anybody. If you potentially watch the great football.
Looking at Sunday Night Football, matters a lot for one team, doesn't matter so much for the other team.
Well, I wouldn't say that, not mathematically.
The Minnesota Vikings will be heading to Jerry World to take on the Dallas Cowboys, 5.5-point spread. I'll just say, if this wasn't Sunday Night Football, I probably would have skipped over it. So,
why was this not flexed out?
I don't know.
I thought it was going to be.
This is the easiest. All three games that I just mentioned should be Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, it's like it does start next week, because I know it starts at a certain point in the season, so maybe it's
next week. Yeah, because that's where they flexed us.
It started last week. Yeah. So here's the thing. I can tell you right now why it wasn't flexed. It's Jerry Jones at Jerry World. He has some of the most say when it comes to those NFL front offices. He's got a very good relationship with Goodell. You think that they want to take the Cowboys out of prime time?
That's fair. Yeah, I could see that. But it's dumb, but I could see that. Dallas
isn't eliminated.
And they're also not eliminated. Not only are they not eliminated, there's a world where they run down the Eagles. If the Eagles keep losing, right now, Cowboys 6-1, Eagles 8-5. So it's going to take 2 games for it to happen, but it is possible the way the Eagles are playing. Got to imagine the Cowboys win this company.
Yeah, Cowboys win.
I mean, this Vikings. I'm sorry, brother. This Vikings.
I'm sorry.
Terrible.
I'm sorry. Wait,
5.5 points.
What was the score last week?
For who?
Right. For the Vikings, 31-0.
30. Oh, okay. Yeah, against the mighty Commanders.
We're the first team since 1992 Denver Broncos to get shut out one week, then shut out a team the next week.
When do they raise the banner for that? Will there be a banner raising ceremony for that?
I'm raising it right here, right now.
Goal!
Here's the thing. I wanted the Vikings to lose so badly last week, and I know you should never root for your team to lose, but now we went from possibly having the 3 or 4 seed or 3 or 4 spot in the draft to the 11th spot in the draft. Not even a top 10 pick. What the hell are we doing still winning? Now, it was great to see Jacob McCarthy not have an interception for once.
In the history of first round draft pick quarterbacks that become stars, that 11th spot is very elusive. So maybe that's the answer to all.
No, because we had the 11th spot when we got McCarthy. We saw how that panned out.
Well, so it's hit or miss, Bobby.
He did look a lot better. I think that don't be playing Justin Jefferson in any of your playoff fantasy matchups, because my God, he just does not get the ball. Addison has been dropping everything sent his way, even when McCarthy has dimes. I still think I'd give the Vikings a fighting chance of this game because Dallas's defense is really not good. Yes, they were playing better for a minute, but they haven't looked that good. I think that this is going to be a closer game than people think.
I think
my big concern is if the Vikings can keep up, because I think Dallas is going to score points.
What's the
5.5 points?
Oh yeah, I love Dallas in this.
I'm sorry, Bobby. I know that you're doing your duty. I know you're doing your duty, and I respect that.
Because I want them to lose. Because all we need, guys, is for the Bears to lose out, the Cowboys to lose out, and who was the other one? There's one other one. All we need them to do is lose all their 4 remaining games, and we're in the playoffs, baby.
Wow.
Oh, and
just
that quarterback, you got to run in you.
We got to run.
The last game
Sorry.
The last game of week 15 of the NFL season, Monday Night Football, a game that is quite gross on its face, but actually has pretty major implications for the rest of the season. The Miami Dolphins are heading to Acrisure Stadium to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers, coming off a big win against my Baltimore Ravens. Look, Miami is staring at a playoff potential spot. They are 6-7, as are the Chiefs, as are the Ravens, and it's probably going to take a 10-7 record to make it into that wild card spot if that's what you're gunning for. But I look at this game, it's a must win for Pittsburgh. They cannot afford to drop games, and they definitely cannot afford to drop games against teams like the Dolphins, who are hot right now, 5-1 in their last 6. They're finding ways to win games. It doesn't really matter who they're against if you're the Miami Dolphins. And Pittsburgh still has Baltimore and now Cincinnati nipping at their heels. Pittsburgh still has to go play the Detroit Lions, and they have to play the Cleveland Browns, which is obviously a terrible team, but a team that gets up for Steelers games. Yeah. So I look at this as a must win for Pittsburgh at home as well. I look at this obviously as a must win for Miami. They're probably just about eliminated, if not actually eliminated, if they lose this game. 3-point spread in favor of the home team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bobby, how do you feel about this one?
I want Miami to win because I want to see that 3-horse race between the Bengals or Ravens and the Steelers come down to the end. I really want that for the drama of it all. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I would all day take Pittsburgh -3. I think that's an easy one to take. I don't like either team. I think they're both disgusting. I think both would be a first round out in the playoffs. But yeah, I'm gonna say Miami just for the fun of it.
Johnny,
I think Miami wins.
Wow, Miami ML plus 142, not bad value. Here's the path I see to Miami winning. Pittsburgh is coming off their biggest win of the season. They are probably prone to having a big emotional hangover after winning away to Baltimore. I mean, it's going to be tough to go get up for a Monday night game against the Dolphins, who are a team that will come into this game believing they can win. Miami will believe they can win this game because they've been winning a lot of games recently. And Pittsburgh is terrible. Like, these are two bad teams playing each other. So I think 3 is just about right. Yeah. Usually 3 points is just whoever has home field advantage. If the spread is that close, kind of decides where those 3 points go. I don't hate Miami here. I would probably bet Miami with the points if I had to take something. Yeah. I see Pittsburgh winning, but I think it's going to be very competitive. I don't think either of these teams are going to look good.
I mean, I say take Miami and the points, just kind of lock it in. But I love Miami here. I think Miami's just like, I don't know where it goes from here, but I think they take this week. And then once again, storyline wise for the entire NFL, it makes
Pittsburgh losing is good. Yeah, agreed. So that's going to do it for this week of NFL games. I got to run to another podcast. So Bobby, do you have the numbers up?
I have it real quick. Ready? Give me the lowest score of the week.
The
lowest price.
Lowest price ticket of the week. I'm going to say it's Commanders at Giants. And I feel great about that pick.
Okay.
The Jets game.
And the correct pick is actually Carolina at New Orleans. $13 a ticket. $13 a ticket. You want to know the second lowest real quick?
What?
Baltimore at Cincinnati.
Wow.
$14.
That's shocking.
By $1.
Wow. $1 difference.
At off, you need to be in Cincinnati.
Joe Burrow versus Lamar is a $15 ticket.
There's got to be something we're missing there because maybe they're standing room or something.
Wow.
Yeah,
the most expensive ticket of the week. I'm going to guess Sunday Night Football at Jerry World.
Okay.
I'm going Detroit at Rams.
Famously, the Dallas Cowboys have not ever been the highest at all because I think it was the standing room only. Green Bay at Denver, highest price ticket of the week, $292.
Wow, weird answers. That's $300 to see an interconference game. Both great teams, but not huge for implications.
No.
Second highest is Buffalo at New England.
Buffalo, New England. That makes sense.
That was the second highest.
That would have been my backup guess. All right, I gotta go do a podcast with some Australian people. So I'll be sure to let everybody know when that gets posted. Subscribe to the Reality After Show here on YouTube. Be sure to stay up with us when we do all of our Survivor recaps, which unfortunately I have not been present for the last month. I apologize for that. But I will be back next week. Me and Bobby, Johnny will not be here. Me and Bobby will be doing the finale recap with hopefully a surprise guest as well. And be sure to go ahead and follow Bobby at Goodsby Bobby /Twitch TV. That's going to do it for us here. Bobby, get us out of here.
Okay. And while he gets out of here, I'm going to play our commercial for Watertown Whiskey. Guys, check out watertownwhiskey.com. We love them. They support the channel.
Watertown Whiskey, guess what? Philadelphia Eagles back-to-back. Here we go, Super Bowl champions. You see, Daniels, it is the Commanders' year. Woo! Super Bowl bound to Watertown Whiskey. It's back-to-back. The Chiefs are going back, and they're winning this time. Watertown Whiskey. Y'all boys heading on down to 8 Mile. Lions got this. Watertown Whiskey. It's the AFC's year, but it's the Chargers. There's only one thing I gotta say. Watertown Whiskey. Jets, Jets. Shut up. Hartford Whalers, we're going to the Super Bowl. They're close to Watertown, right? There's one thing we can all agree on. Watertown Whiskey. Escape the ordinary. WatertownWhiskey.com. Drink responsibly.
All right, watertownwhiskey.com. Guys, go check them out. They are a huge supporter of the channel. Shout out to them. Go get yourself a bottle of Watertown whiskey. Drink responsibly. With that being said, obviously, Gabe had to get out of here. We're going to get out of here. Check out our Survivor podcast. Last night we did with Gabler, season 43 of Survivor winner. Great podcast. What, 2 hours and 40 minutes that went last night? Like, we're basically the premiere of Survivor 50 last night. So if you guys
and if you want to hear about Gabe's exploits, when he wasn't on here with us and wasn't on the Survivor podcast, he was in Ecuador doing ayahuasca. Go to realitypatron.com. Any price level gets you access to that podcast. It is insane. Everyone loves it. Realitypatron.com. Best way to support the podcast anyways. So just go and do that. Join $5 level. Who cares? Just join up. Join the $30 level and get like autograph picks every month. There's all kinds of fun stuff. Realitypatron.com. That's realitypatron.com. And Bobby, in the background, you see that Metallica pinball there?
I do.
Not after tomorrow.
Oh, what are you getting now?
I got Pulp Fiction, the Bad Mother Flipper limited edition coming in tomorrow. So get ready.
I love it. I love it so much. All right, guys. With that being said, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back next week to break down all things NFL right here on the NFL Weekly Preview Show. I'm Bobby Goodsby. That's Jonny Fairplay. We'll see you for finale night of Survivor next Wednesday and right back here for football on either Wednesday or Thursday. We'll see. All right, guys. Who's to say? We'll see you guys next week.